G'day again, welcome back to Dad vs Son, our playthrough of Combat Commander, the paratroop pack from GMT and Chad Jensen. And we're about to go on with the Germans. Now, one thing that I have been doing wrong, I noticed, that was pointed out to me by, I think it was John Vogel, thank you very much, John, is when I've been using smoke grenades, I've actually used them on an advance before rather than just on a move. Why? I don't know. Because I'm an idiot. I could have sworn it said boxed movement when activated to move and advance. And of course, it doesn't say anything about bloody advance. So apologies, and I'll try and remember that in future. So we're right to go on. The Germans finished last time with an advance, a fire, an artillery request, and have picked up a fire, a move, and a move. Right. Okay, so again, what I think we need to do, we don't have a recover. I think the first thing I'm going to do is try and put a bit more smoke down, and I want to put it here this time to try and give me a bit of cover from this machine gun as I bring Sergeant Bierman down. So we shall do that. So we want to put Schmolk here this time. So from our mortar, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going through there. So any advantage we get for going downhill is offset by this smoke. So it is 7. And we get 5 times 5. 25 is great. And we have a sniper to help us, hitting at M1, which is up here and does nothing. Sorry. M1 up there and still does nothing. Okay, so smoke. Again. And we have this one. And it is a 5. Ripper reader. Okay, so we'll do our move as our second order for Sergeant Bierman. So Bierman and his mate here go 2 to here. Now the machine gun has a line of sight straight across into there. There is one hindrance here. Oh, sorry, 3 hindrance through here, but we have 5 hindrance through the smoke. That's the biggest hindrance. So they would be firing for 1. Which is probably not a great thing. 5, 6, 7. In fact, 7. So they'd be firing for 2. But we might get a little bit better shot of them down here. So I'm going to do it. So we are going to fire, opportunity fire. So like I said, 6 and 1 is 7. -5 is 2 into here. So we have 2 plus 4 is a whole 6. Yay! And of course, this guy's here for 8, 9, and 12. We have time, so he's safe. Okay. So we go to time 1. The Americans get 1 VP, taking to 13. So we're at time 1 of 7. We reshuffle up the German cards. They still have 2 orders they can give. The Germans get to remove a smoke. So, of course, they're going to remove the number 1 smoke, because that's the worst. And then we can look at the rest. So, they removed the number 1 smoke. And then they can do there's no reinforcements or anything else. So they're going to actually do their dig in, and they're going to put foxholes on their heavy machine gun. Right there. Righto, and then we do Sergeant Bierman, who is there for 9 plus 3 against 6 is pretty damn fine. So they've moved 2, they move 3, and again we have the same firepower of 6 plus 1 is 7, minus 5 is 2 into here. Plus 6 is 8. And again we have 7 and 1 is 8 for the machine gun mob. Plus 3 is tons. And Bierman is there for 8. Plus 6 is tons, and they can move 1 more, which they're going to do. To go 4 onto the road here, again, firing for 2. Plus 9 is 11. We have 7 plus 1 minus 1 for the rifle is 7. And 4 is 11, which means he's actually hit. And broken because he's moved. Okay, and then Bierman is there for 7. Plus 8 is 15, and he's fine. Which leaves the rifle over here, which goes 2 to there. And again, we can fire for 7 minus 5 is 2. Plus 7 is 9, and an American event, which is Booby Trap. Place mines in a random hex, and the random hex is L4. So we have some mines here. Righty-o. So we're shooting for 9 into here, and he's in there for 7, 8. And 7, he's good. And we have a German event, Recon. But again, we don't have any secret objectives. And then he moves another 2 into there. And we fire again for 2. Plus 10 is 12. And again, he's in there for 8. Plus 10 and is safe. The only trouble is now I forgot I should have left those there so that he was still in command range. So I screwed up. Okay, so they have 2 more they can give. They have an advance, a fire, and a move. I would like to keep the advance at the moment. What I could do is move this guy, but I don't think that makes much sense at the moment. What I might try and do is get the sugar. Makes it hard. Let's try and get some of these guys out of the way. Give them a little bit of protection. So I am going to use the advance as the 3rd order, and I'm going to advance this guy to here, like that. And then I'm going to use the move as the last order. To do what? So I can move any of these sort of thing. I'm thinking of maybe grabbing Lauer back and bringing him down now. So I think that's what we'll do. The only trouble is then I lose my line of sight for my artillery when I finally get it. But I don't have much choice. Okay, so these two are going to move together. So they can move a maximum of 5. So I think they'll go 1 to there, 2 to there, 3, 4 to there. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. And again, these guys can fire. I think, yep, they can. So again, they can fire for 7, -5 up into here is 2, but they're also going uphill, so it's down to 1. But I don't have another. I do have a fire, but I don't want to use it, so it's not going to happen. So they've moved to there. That's the end of the German turn. We get rid of that op fire, and we get 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Germans, and the Americans have 2 recovers and a fire. I don't need 2 recovers. I would like to fire, but with the smoke there, it's not doing much good at the moment, other than trying to take this guy out, which again could be very worthwhile. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, the only trouble is it's my ambush as well, but yeah, stiff. So we're firing for 7. And I haven't been adding the extra 1 in for going downhill because I'm a dickhead. So we have 7 plus 1 is 8, -5 is 3 into here, not 2. Plus 4. Okay, so we have a whole 7. He's there for 7 plus 1 -1 and is fine. And that's 2 new cards for the Americans. Nothing special on there. And we're back to Herman the German. And he has a fire and has picked up a fire, command confusion, artillery request, and a move. And as much as I hate to do it, I think we have to move. So this bloke only has a move of 2. Now, this would be a free move to here, which then means he could actually move into here, which I think is fair enough. So we're going to move these guys. So we have a move. Do we want to put some more smoke down first, is what it comes down to, or to bring some fire on? And I think some more smoke may be handy. But this time, I think it might be worthwhile sticking it here. Now, our mortar can see straight down to there because it's looking out and over everything, except for here where we've got a bit of a dead bit. But let's put some smoke here if we can. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So that's a 6, and we get 2 and jammed. So big failure, and our mortar is broken. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Hang on. Targeting roll. Wait, 1, checking. Right, so I wanted to make sure, and no, it's not affected during targeting. So, sorry, that was my fire. So no, but nothing happens. So we can forget about that. Which leaves our move. So we go 0 to there, and there's no fire cards for the Americans, so they can go 1, 2 that way, or they can go straight 2 in this through this way. So they're there. They're there. Okay, so that is that. We do have one more fire. I'm just wondering if maybe it's worthwhile firing the HMG into there to try and suppress him so he's not going to come back that way at some stage. Now, if I do that, I'm going to be firing at 8 plus 1 is 9 with no hindrance whatsoever. So I think that's worthwhile. So again, firing the machine gun. 8 plus 1 is 9. We're going to use sustained fire for 11. It's a double. 21. Okay, so our heavy machine gun now becomes broken, but the firing goes ahead. So we have 21 into here, and he's here for 9. And we're going to use our concealment to reduce that by 3. So it becomes down to 18. And he's in there for 9. Plus 6 is not enough, and he is broken. Okay, and that's it for the Germans. They can't do anything more because they have an artillery request and a command confusion left. So 4 new cards for them. Okay, Americans have 2 recovers and a command confusion, so of course they're going to use a recover. This bloke's here for 11. They get a 6 and he is back, and that is it. That's all they can do. They get 2 new cards, and we're back to the Germans with their command confusion artillery request, and they have picked up a recover, a command confusion, a fire, and a move. Okay. So now Bierman has control of all of these little fellas here. And I think what we need to do first is... Now, he can't get into there at all until he's recovered. So we have to try and recover him first. So first order, recover. So again, he's here for 7 plus 1 is 8. He gets 1 cover is 9, but he's on a road, so he goes back to 8. And he gets a 6, so he recovers. Sorry, just trying to use arms around tripod without knocking it. Okay, so let's do a move. And the first guy to move is going to be this guy. And he is in an orchard, so he goes 1 to there. Now, we have line of sight here through the hindrance. We do not have line of sight there. Sorry, we do, because even with it's a hedge, but that's fine because he's up against the edge of it. So we could shoot for 6 there with no hindrance if we have a fire order, which we don't. Okay. So he moves 1 for there, and we're going to go hidden wire. So he's not going any bloody further anyway, which is good, even though we can't shoot at him. Okay, so he's moved. I think the next bloke to move will be him, and he'll go into there. And then these guys can move a maximum of 5, and they're going to come down the road. So that's going to be 0, 1. In fact, don't move him yet. 0, 1, 2, 3 into there. And they are good to go. And this guy will go 2, 3, up to here, rather than going into there. So I can keep the command group going. Right, we have a fire that we can use. Our machine gun's gone, but we do have a sustained fire we could use for the mortar if we wanted. So I'm thinking of maybe just firing the mortar over here and just putting something down on them. And seeing if we can do that. Or I just use the fire for some smoke again, and maybe chuck some smoke here, or some smoke here, or here in fact. This will do the same for this guy here. So let's see if we can put some smoke there. No, we can't see there. Can we? Can't we? We're at high elevation. We have bocage there, a hedge. There's nobody there, so there's no line of sight. Maybe, maybe not. So if I do anything, maybe I drop the smoke straight here, because these want to assault into here, and this will help to protect them against incoming fire of any variety anyway. So we'll do that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I'm calling 6. And they get 6 4s, which is great. We don't need the sustained fire at all. So we've got smoke into there for our own peoples. And we get 5 smoke, which is pretty damn fine again. So, sorry, that was our fire order. And that's all they can do. And we get 3 new cards for the Germans, and we're over to the Americans, who have a recover, command confusion, and move. So we're going to keep the recover and get rid of the move and the command confusion, which gives them 3 new cards with nothing on there. And the Germans have 2 command confusions and an artillery request, and pick up an advance, an artillery request, and a move. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to advance. So these guys here will advance into here. Sorry, they've got 3, but that doesn't matter. It's not worth anything at the moment. This guy here will advance into here, and this guy here I think might advance to here. Now he's in a dead spot now from this way, so it's only this way that they can get him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's in range of the paratroops here for opportunity fire, but he may be able to do a run later anyway. Righto, so we have these attacking this little guy here. Do the Americans have an ambush? And they do not. Do the Germans have an ambush? And they do not. Okay, so this guy is here for 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. And these guys are here for 6, 7. Yeah, it's not real great. 7 and 8, 15, and they take him out. Well done. Okay, so that's 2 VP for the Germans, bringing the Americans back down to 11. And they have taken control of objective 2 now as well. So the Germans hold all of the objectives except the ones that are worth anything. Okay, so that's their advance. Again, their artillery request is not worth anything, but they do have a move. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to move. And what I'm thinking of doing is bringing this light machine gun up with this guy. So that's what I'm going to do. So he goes 1, 2, plus uphill is 3. And that's as far as he can go. And that's it for the Germans. But at least he's back in a command radius, and he can move in with these guys once they start to move. 2 new cards for the Germans. And we have the Americans with their recover, another recover, an artillery request, and a rout. Now, there is nobody to rout, but the artillery request is good. But that's only going to give me 1 card. That would fix our radio, but I've got no fire. So I'm going to keep the artillery request. I'm going to keep a recover, but I'm going to get rid of a recover and a rout for 2 new cards. Nothing special on them. And we're back to the Germans with an artillery request, and 2 command confusions, and they pick up a move and a fire. So again, I think I'd like to get rid of these 4 cards still, the command confusions and artillery requests, but I think it's more important to keep these guys moving at the moment as they can. So again, what I'm going to try and do first up is I'm going to fire I'm going to try and fire some smoke up here again. In fact, I may as well just fire it straight into there. Yes. Let's try that. So we're going to try and fire smoke into here, which will help us in no end. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Forget it. Can we do it? We can. Yes. Let's do it. So we have 13. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. So no, we don't, but we get a sniper hitting a G5. Which is here, which does nothing. Okay. So we tried. Let's move, and we're going to move Lauerbach and his people. So this guy is going to come down. No, these guys. This guy is going to come down first into here, and that's 2 to there. So again, machine gun can fire, but we're looking at which one? Yeah, we're still looking at 5 hindrance. Can they fire? And they can, but it's 5 hindrance, which means at the same level, 7, they're only firing for 2. I just don't think it's worthwhile at the moment. So no, they're not going to fire. So he goes 2 to there, and then he goes 2 into here for 4. Lauerbach comes down for 2 and comes in here for 4, and this bloke comes down for 2 into here. So at least we have a command group here, we have a command group here, we still have this line team that I want to try and get up into here to take this light machine gun off this guy. And that's all the Germans can do again. And they get 2 new cards. And then the Americans have their recover, artillery, fire, and command confusion. Righto, so they are going to do their artillery request as their first order, and their artillery radio for their 75 is back. Now what do we want to do? Bum, 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 bum. I'm wondering if it is worthwhile firing something. Or do we keep it? I think we have to. What I'm thinking of doing is firing the mortar at this guy, since he's sitting out there. And that's a 7 to a 7. Or I could fire this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to fire for 7 as well. So I'm probably better off with that. So we will fire as our second action. And we're going to use spray fire to get rid of that card, so we fire at these 2 hexes here. Okay, so this guy's firing. So he fires for 6, and 1 is 7. Downhill is 8. Plus 10 is 18. Okay. We do this one first. He's here for 7. And he has nothing to help him. 7 and 9, he gave it a good go, but he's hit. And then again, 18 into here. He's here for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 4 is not enough. He's a good little paratroop, isn't he? And 11 for Sergeant Bierman, the Feldwebel. 11 and 8 is 19. He's good. And the German sniper hits at I1, which is GHI1, and takes out this guy. And a 1 fixes the heavy machine gun. Right. Okay, and the Americans cannot do anything more. They only have a recover left and get 3 cards. And they can only give 2 orders anyway. Anything special? Nope. So we're over to the Germans, who now have 3 artillery requests and 2 command confusions and a fire. So they're just going to get rid of the command confusions and the artillery requests and get 5 new cards. And we are back to the Americans with their recover, which they can use, and they have a fire, an artillery denied, and an advance. Okay. So we could use our recover for this guy. Artillery denied is no good to us at the moment. Simple as that. And advance, well, the only person we'd probably want to advance is this guy, but he'd be coming out into nowhere, which doesn't make much sense. Fire-wise, I think it'd be great to fire again. So I think I have to. If I can knock this guy out, then all well and good. So we shall fire. So again, we're firing for 6, and 1 is 7. Downhill is 8. Plus 7 is 15. And an American event, which is Scrounge. Return an eliminated weapon to play under your control. There are no eliminated weapons. Pity, it would have been nice to have a heavy machine gun or something. Righto, so we have 15 down to here. He's down there for 7. He doesn't have any cover or anything else. I'm not sure if there's anything that we can do to help him at all. And no, there's not. 7 and 8 is 15. So he is suppressed because he wasn't moving. And that is it, unless I want to play the recover. And I need new cards. So I'm going to have to play the recover as my second order for a little paratrooper over here who's sitting there for 12. And we get a 5 and he is back. Sniper only winged him. And 2 new cards for the Americans. Okay, let's do the Germans and the Americans, and then we'll call this one quits. So they finished last time with a fire after getting rid of those horrible 5 cards. And they've picked up a rout, a fire, a command confusion, a rout, and a fire. No recovery whatsoever. And no movement. Okay, so they can't rout anybody, so forget that. So basically it comes down to, do they want to fire? And again, I don't see much sense in not firing because we don't have any bloody choice in the matter. So we will fire. And we're going to fire the heavy machine gun. And we're going to fire the heavy machine gun at this guy. So hopefully these guys can break out up this way into here. Right. Okay, so heavy machine gun is firing for 8. Do I have anything to help with that? And I do. No, I don't. Because he doesn't have the range to hit there. Okay, so he's firing for 8 into here. +1 is 9 for going downhill. Plus 9 is 18, so pretty good shot. This guy's here for 11. And we have nothing to help him. We do have a light wounds, but nothing to help him at the moment. So he's there for 11. +7 is 18. So he's hit and suppressed, but we have an American event first, which is breeze. Removal smoke markers, and all blazes spread in direction 2. So, ha-ha, ha-ha, and aha. Okay. So he's hit and suppressed, which is okay. Now, Germans need to put some more smoke out, don't they? So they're going to fire with the mortar and try and put some smoke down here again. Let's try and put it here, in fact. No, here. Here. Because that'll help with this mob and it'll help with this mob, but yeah. So what we have again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okie dokie. 4 5s, 20 is good. We have smoke back. And we have 3 smoke. Not quite as good, but with a breeze just settling down, it's understandable. Okay. So we've fired the heavy machine gun, we've fired the mortar. The only other thing we could do is fire still. So this guy is now in here for 10. So we could just fire this rifle into there. He'd be firing for 5. -1 going uphill is 4. Against 10 is not a good bet. And the only other thing that can really shoot would be the light machine gun firing for 5 on the same level. So he'd be firing for 5 at least. What's the range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're going to fire with this guy. So we're firing with him. So he's firing for 5. Uphill is 4. But we're going to use marksmanship, which gives him a 6. Again, not fantastic, but 6 and 6 is 12. And we have a sniper at B5, which is over here. Up here does nothing. Righto, so this guy is here for 7 and 3 is 10. Plus 3 is 13 and is safe. Okay, so that's all the Germans can do. They get 1, 2, 3, 4 new cards. We're over to the Americans, who have 2 fires, an artillery denied, and an advance. So all they can really do is fire. And again, I think what we might do is simply fire from here down into here. Now, if we do that, do we have anything to help? We don't. So the other thing to do is to get rid of the artillery denied and the advance that we don't need at the moment. And that'll leave us with 2 fires if they try and move, and we might get something worthwhile. So I'm going to get rid of those. So 2 new cards for the Americans, nothing special on them, and that is that for that video. So that time, a little bit more movement for the Germans. They have consolidated this command group, even though they're having a bit of trouble. They've consolidated this command group. The support weapons are still doing well. The heavy machine guns under foxholes, and this little line guy is out here by himself. They've still only lost Lieutenant Schrader, and 1 rifle squad. But they've picked up objectives, whatever it was, 3 and 2, which only leaves the 2 that the Americans are holding. So all in all, they're not doing too bad. They're getting there. Losing all the smoke. Excuse me. I got halfway through a yawn and decided I nearly burped and then finished the yawn. It's just one of those things. So, yeah, not too bad. So we're getting there. American-wise, we're holding our own. I need to get this guy probably down to here, at least, just in case these guys try and come across, and see what we get. So thank you once again. I know I've done some stupid things. Please forgive me. And I will see you for the next video. Bye for now.